Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone. My name is Kathy. There are a myriad of motions in limine that Judge Stephen J. Hippler will be entertaining at oral argument on the 9th and 10th of April. These motions are so important to both sides because what most of them boil down to is asking the court pre-trial, which is now, to render rulings on various motions. A motion is an application for a court order. So when you see motion in limine, whoever filed that motion, the moving party, is asking for a court order granting remedies or relief set forth within the motion. Now, just by way of background, when you hear the terms, the briefings, as it relates to any matter that's before Judge Hippler or that was before Judge John Judge prior to change of venue, they consist of 3 filings. Motion, application for a court order by the moving party, response, where the other side has an opportunity to respond to the motion. Most times it's to oppose it and to ask Judge Hippler to not grant that order. And then finally, there's the reply where the moving party has a final opportunity to try to convince Judge Hippler to grant the original motion. So there are numerous in limine motions that are scheduled to be entertained on April 9th and 10th, and thereafter Judge Hippler will render a ruling and order, either granting or denying the relief. There are fewer matters in this case that has been so controversial, that has been so widely debated, not just amongst the parties, the state and the defense, but in the general community, by people having conversations in real life, if you will, by people having communications over the internet. Podcasters have commented on this topic. Mainstream media has commented on this topic. This topic was the subject of so much discussion in document number 1 in the case, the Affidavit of Probable Cause. I am, of course, speaking of Suspect Vehicle 1. We have been hearing about and learned of Suspect Vehicle 1 even before the Affidavit of Probable Cause, because the Moscow Police Department was seeking tips on this vehicle. We never saw a photograph of it, though. We never saw video of Suspect Vehicle 1, even though the Affidavit of Probable Cause made it sound like there was a lot of imagery that the state had regarding this vehicle. And the conclusion was this was Mr. Kohberger's car, his 2015 Hyundai Elantra. The public never got to see an official image of Suspect Vehicle 1. All of the debate that's been going on over almost the past 2.5 years about Suspect Vehicle 1 was taken from unofficial sources before anything official got published. Was a photograph, a still of a car in front of a gas station. Was that Suspect Vehicle 1? Was Suspect Vehicle 1 in the video that was released a while back from the Linda Lane apartment complex, which is directly adjacent to the larger apartment complex and that stands between Linda Lane Apartments and the 1122 King residence. But it wasn't until February 24th, 2025, when the defense filed motion in limine number 12 regarding the make and model of suspect vehicle. And this is referring to the aforementioned suspect vehicle 1. It was only then that the world got to see an official image, not just one but two, from the court documents. They appear at page 2 and 3. Then we received, as the public, I believe, an even clearer image of suspect vehicle 1 when the state came back with their response to this in limine motion. Remember, it's motion, response, reply. And if you go to the very last page of this document, you will see certain photographs of what the state says is suspect vehicle 1. So I invite you to make your own conclusions, as we always do. Pull up this evidence, read the filings, and look at the photographs, the two that were produced by the defense, the ones from the state, and make your own determination when you compare the images, particularly the side images from Indiana, because you can compare those, I think, to the clearest of the bunch from the state and draw your own conclusions. Now, we know that there are many people who drive Elantras, Hyundai Elantras. This is just one more bit of circumstantial evidence that if this evidence is allowed to come into the case, the jury will be looking at. So draw your own conclusions. If you think that this looks similar to Mr. Kohberger's car or not, leave your comments, your questions. All are appreciated. Remember to join us if you can. On the 9th, we're going to be covering the in limine motions gavel to gavel. Or if you like, just go ahead onto directly the Ada County official YouTube channel where you can watch the proceedings live yourself or afterwards. But I think that these motions in limine will, depending on how Judge Hippler rules, be a big turning point in this case, including the ruling on the motion relative to suspect vehicle. This is Kathy. Thanks for joining us here today.